Today we're going to talk about the 4 types of safe money clients. Hello everyone, I'm Chad Owen, the Annuity Sales Coach. Here's my sidekick, Boy Wonder. We're back to Boy Wonder.
Back to Boy Wonder. I kind of like that one, actually.
You do like that?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. Wonder Boy is actually kind of funny too.
Yeah, but Wonder Boy, I think that's what, if you ever watched the animated Hercules, that's what Meg calls Hercules.
My name is Hercules.
I think I prefer Wonder Boy.
Oh,
Wonder Boy.
So definitely not Wonder
I don't
Boy.
need you calling me
no,
Wonder
definitely
Boy.
not.
I mean, as
Okay.
much as you look like Meg, you know.
Corporate needs you to find the differences between this picture and this picture. They're the same picture.
Is that nice?
And you don't look like Hercules. Although the curly little hair, which we don't know, is currently veiled under a hat.
Yeah,
Second week in a row, he can't get his hair right.
I'm telling you.
And wearing the same shirt.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Yeah.
I'm wearing the same shirt too, though.
You always wear the same
I always
shirt.
wear. It's
What's funny is if somebody were to see you out, they'd think, "Oh man, Chad has a polo."
Yeah.
No, he's got like 3 dozen polos,
I
but they
do.
all look the same.
They do. Because I like having a nice, crisp, clean shirt.
Yeah.
And so, yes, I'm definitely one that will wear my polos quite often, unless it's not a polo day. Yeah, like if I don't have podcasts or I don't have webinars or I'm not running appointments, what do I wear then?
Oh, it's a T-shirt.
My graphic
Yeah.
tees, yes,
Your
my Heaven's Armory
tees.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
So there, if you want to, some of those you'll see every once in a while. My failure's not an option. It's on heavensarmory.com. And yes, that's a shameless plug because I love those shirts, man. I love
Cross-pollination at its finest.
It is, exactly. And if you want to buy an annuity, go to Eagle Shadow Life Annuity. Oh, wait, we're talking to annuity people here. Okay.
That is a funny concept though. Didn't you? You had a client that ended up becoming a client because they found was it
one
the
of the
podcast?
podcasts. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
It's not fully a client yet, but it's someone that I've been talking with.
Yeah.
So I actually have another call with him coming up. So, okay.
Cool. All right. Well, the 4 different types of, and we use the term safe money clients here, but really it's because we're referring to a few different annuity products that they're in the fixed category, meaning they don't go backward due to market volatility and losses. So
I'm really curious about this. I have no idea where you're going with it.
yeah. So the four basic clients, I'll just list them all out. And you got to bear in mind, every client's needs are different, but these are the 4 basic categories that anybody that's looking for a fixed indexed, a regular fixed like a MIGA, a SPIA, they're going to fall into these types of categories. Number 1, you've got the people that are looking for income now.
Yep.
Okay. You've got income later.
Okay.
You've got personal accumulation.
Okay.
And you've got legacy planning. Those are the main 4. Now,
what about legacy accumulation with income for life?
See, and that's a combo of the 2, and that's where like that's to me that's 2 separate.
So you're saying you have 4 majors, but then you can cross pollinate.
Oh, you'll have right,
okay.
And in fact, I see it all the time when I'm working with agents where it's like, yeah, man, they'd like to get an extra $2,000 a month if they can, which is actually pretty significant, and they'd also like to
2,000. I mean,
24 a year.
Yeah, you don't have to put in that much money to get 24 a year.
You're looking what, $250,000
at least
250 to 300-ish.
Yeah.
Well, some of these payout factors now are north of 7%, which is wild. But
that's the thing. It just depends. So if you talk 500,000 at 7%, that'd be 35,000.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see, 5% of 300,000. No, what did you say? 7%. Sorry. So 7% of 300,000 would be 21,000. So yeah,
not a ton.
No,
you don't have to use a ton.
Well, and those are generally, you're talking about the immediate annuities, right?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Now the SPIAs, this is interesting because you've got your traditional SPIA. The problem that I have with SPIAs is that it's annuitization.
Yep.
And
what do I say? You
is
might as well write a
outdated.
check to the insurance company. The money's gone. You can't
Right.
ever get any back that principal. You're not going to get an increase in pay. Now, I know there's ones out there with inflation protection, but you always have to take a lot less in the beginning.
Yeah, I've written a couple of different articles. None are published, but I enjoy writing. So like literally, Chad, sometimes you don't know this. You're learning something about me today. There are weekends where like after church, I'll go to a coffee shop with my laptop for 2 or 3 hours and just write about this stuff.
Then why aren't we
just write
publishing
content.
these things? What the heck? Why are they just sitting there doing nothing?
I have probably 25 to 30 pages of information.
Is this for
this.
client-based or agent-based?
It's designed to be education, period. So just purely educational.
Why are
information
these not deep thoughts from Caleb on our website? Why is that not
We can
there?
add them. We can add
Okay,
them.
we are going to add those. What the heck?
But I talk in
How
one of
long have you
those-
been doing this?
A month and a half, 2 months.
Oh, okay. So it's not like something a long time. Okay. I want those on our website.
Okay.
Maybe.
One of the things I talk about.
I'm going
in
to
there-
charge you rent space now just because you were stupid and not letting me know. Okay.
One of the things I talk about in there after I was pretty much at the end of one of these articles, but I talk about how I love annuities, but I actually really don't like annuitization. And it's that concept specifically. And the main reason for me personally that I don't love annuitization is because of the invention of the income rider. If the income rider had never been invented, I would see the necessity for annuitization. But now that you have income riders, and even income riders that will allow you to start income after 30 days, which is basically immediate income, I don't see the need for annuitization in as many situations. Obviously, in case design, there are certain things, certain situations, SPIAs are the only way. But fixed indexed annuities with income riders are going to cover most of your income needs
Agreed.
for now and for
Agreed.
later. So
Yeah.
those two. Now, you tend to emphasize the deferred guaranteed lifetime income. That's the majority of your clientele.
That is the majority, but that's because the majority of my clientele income is an issue.
Right.
I mean, if you do full fact finders on everybody, I assure you, most of the people you deal with, the primary concern should be income for life.
Yeah.
I just had a person tell me today that that wasn't a concern for them. And I said, really? I said, so how long are you going to live for? And they go, well, I don't know, but I make enough now. I said, okay, are things going to be more expensive 10 or 20 years from now or less? Well, definitely more. Okay, you're barely making it right now. You don't think income's an issue. You know what? Maybe it is.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's, so I would add, that's a key distinction there, right? So you talk about if you were to go do a full fact finder, I would add, if you go do a full fact finder and you look at worst case scenario on the fact finder, right? So like
Yeah.
you can, and I guess that's implied.
That is always
That's an
implied because
implied-
I'm always using worst case scenario.
Right.
Because I mean, here's the thing. If I haven't had any complaints against me in the insurance commissioner, and I've had one with the Better Business Bureau, and I've said this before, it's simply because I wouldn't use a guy's emergency fund for annuity, and they
He
thought I
wanted
was
to.
discriminating.
He wanted to
And,
use his emergency funds
Yes.
in an annuity. You
And
wouldn't sell
I
it.
said, I can't do that. And they said, well, he wouldn't do it because I only had 54,000. I'm like, no, I wouldn't do it because you only had 54,000, but it's not because I didn't want to help you. It's because you had emergency funds,
Yeah.
not annuity funds. And they just couldn't get that concept. Could I technically written a $25,000 annuity? Yes. Based off of how much they needed per month and how much he had? No, it wouldn't have helped.
Yeah.
So
It would have just tied it up.
yeah, exactly. And I mean, if he's making a complaint because I didn't help him with that of money, what kind of a complaint would he had if I would have put him into the annuity and now I tied up his emergency fund?
Right. Yeah. Something
There's no
drastic
win on
happens
that.
and now
Yeah.
it's locked in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've got those four basic categories. You've got your income now. Generally, income now, we're talking about FIAs and SPIAs. Okay. You're talking about people taking income.
FIAs with income, right?
Yes, with income riders. You're talking about people taking income within the first contract year. I think by definition, that's generally the threshold for being considered immediate.
Yeah.
Most people, they think of immediate, they're thinking next week. Realistically, like it's really anything within that first year. You've got income later, typically dealing with fixed indexed annuities. I've even seen people use MIGAs to try and structure this, although it's not guaranteed
Yeah,
lifetime
that's the problem I
income.
have with that. MIGA rates are really good right now, but what are they going to be in 5 years?
We don't know.
Well, then I'll do a 10-year MIGA rate. Okay, you do that, then you only get like 0.2% higher to tie up the money for another
15.
5 years. That
Right.
doesn't make sense.
And that's the challenge. I've had agents come to me before and say, I want to buy a MIGA, and it's a 65-year-old client. And it's like,
You know
well,
why
then
that
what?
happens? So this is just speculation. This is not saying everybody does this, but I think two things. People believe it's easier to sell a 5-year annuity than it is a 10-year annuity. That is not true if you do a full fact finder and you find out what the problem is. Number two, I think agents often go, and this is why a lot of them won't do income riders, is because I know in 5 or 10 years, I'll have another sale.
Mm-hmm.
And where I'm doing an income rider, that client, once I've done that annuity with an income rider, I will never get that sale again. And you go, yeah, but that's no future business. No, it isn't a guarantee of future business. But what it is a protection of my client's situation to where they never have to worry about income again.
Yeah.
So what's more important? Their guaranteed income for the rest of their life with the safety and security, peace of mind, or my future sale?
Theirs.
I mean, of course.
Right.
So, yeah.
No, that's
Just my 2 cents.
I agree. And I've had that come up before where you've got a 60, 65-year-old client that's looking for a 5-year MIGA, and you're just darn near certain they're not going to die within that time period. So here in 5 years, it's going to be out of surrender. It's not going to have the same guaranteed rate anymore. It's going to have to go somewhere.
Yep.
And they're going to have to do something with it. And maybe rates happen to be good again, and they do another 5-year MIGA, and now they've only been in surrender for a 10-year total.
Yep.
But more realistically, they get to the end of that 5 years, rates are back to normal, and now indexed annuities start looking real good, and you're thinking, oh, let's go get into a 10-year fixed indexed annuity. Now you're talking 15 total years tied up in surrender when you could have just started there.
And gotten them better income.
Yeah, that's true. The third, personal accumulation. You're talking here again, fixed indexed annuities, MIGAs. SPIA is not an option there.
And I'm actually fine with those. I mean, I've helped 20% of my written volume last year was straight FIAs or MIGAs. And I have no problem with that, but you better make sure they have enough income coming in no matter what happens.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yep, that's true. And then the last one, legacy planning. In this one, you could make an argument for multi-year guaranteed annuities, the MIGAs. I really like fixed indexed annuities when they use an enhanced death benefit feature. It's real similar in operation to the way a rider works because you get some guaranteed roll-up, you get a guaranteed return, and oftentimes the guaranteed return for the death benefit is actually more than what you should reasonably expect index strategies to perform at over the long term. So when you get that really nice roll-up rate guaranteed on the death benefit, if that's the purpose of the money, those look really, really nice.
You know, I've had a few people recently talk about legacy planning, and I coined a term, and I'm sure it's not the first time anybody's ever said that, but I said, what about living legacy planning?
Mm-hmm.
And they said, well, what do you mean by that? I say, well, you own a home, it's $500,000, you owe nothing on it. So you know right away when you die, they're going to have the house that they could sell. You have all your valuables here. So let's just say another $100,000. Rough estimate, obviously depends on what kind of home it is and what they have inside. But let's just say you have the $500,000. Wouldn't it be great to take that money now and start to put towards grandkids' college funds or taking the grandkids on a Disney trip or whatever, someplace, a trip to a Mediterranean cruise or whatever, where you can create a living legacy of memories.
Mm-hmm.
And you get to enjoy it now, which obviously is going to make you healthier, you better, because you're actually living and moving and going and experiencing life and memories with your kids while they're alive. I assure you. Now, this obviously has to be a healthy family because there's certain families you don't want to get on a cruise ship because half of them is going to end up missing anyway, being thrown overboard. But the reality when it comes down to, if you have a healthy, happy relationship and you're out there having a blast, the kids are going to remember that way more than they are the dollars you got left behind. I'll take a memory with my grandfather down in his basement working on one of those little push cars. I can't remember what they call them, but where they go down.
The Pinewood Derby
cars?
Pinewood
Derby type. No, it's actually like a Matchbox. No. They're
I feel like I can envision it, but
they're a little car that you put on this track and you let it go and then it races. And man, building stuff like that with my grandfather, or just any sort of, what do you call a bird? What a bird box. What a bird lives in when you build a box.
A birdhouse?
A birdhouse. Thank you, God.
Like what?
That was way too much effort and work.
Bird box.
Yeah, a birdhouse. We used to build those, and that's obviously something that doesn't cost a lot of money, but man, the memories were great. But even going up fishing with my grandfather in Wyoming, where they bought my fishing license, and to me, I remember that being, oh my gosh, such a big deal that they bought my fishing license, which probably in those days was $5. No, $7. It was $7 at that time. But that was a big deal to me.
1,000% increase.
Yeah, no kidding, right? But, living legacies really resonate with people nowadays, because most people right now believe that if they pass a lump sum of money on to their kids, it's going to be blown. That's just a general consensus. So create living legacies now. How do you do that? You create an annuity that has an income rider on it to where you can budget how much you're going to give or spend on trips every single year. And you will never need to not do that unless, of course, your expenses go up. But then you have it covered there too.
Right.
So I would recommend using the term living legacy at times.
Yeah, that's really good. My grandmother's doing it for my family this year. We're going on a cruise. She's literally paying for my immediate family of 6. And then my mother's 2 sisters and their immediate families to all go on. There's literally going to be over 12.
We're going on a cruise with Grandma?
Yes.
We are?
Oh, gosh. No, you're not. You're going on a cruise.
Grandma loves me.
She does.
She's awesome.
But the point is, she's able to do that. And it's funny enough because my grandfather, he passed away in May, but before, he was actually in insurance back in the day, and he set up their retirement really well. A lot of annuities, heavy on guaranteed lifetime income, and he had a really nice life insurance policy that paid her very well. So now her income, I think her monthly income is 5 or 6 times what she needs it to be.
Isn't that great, though, that you never have to worry about your grandmother's financial situation?
She can do whatever she wants, whenever she wants, however she wants to do it.
I mean, the kids, the grandkids, because I know my grandmother, she was not in good financial situation. And so I couldn't help her at the time because we had no money. But I remember my uncles always putting money over to Grandma, and my mom couldn't do it either. She had no money. But the uncles would leave 100 here, 100 there, everywhere around the house. And so she had enough. But man, your grandma doesn't have to worry about that.
Right.
It's so great.
The more I see the guaranteed lifetime income, Chad, and the more I think about it and the more I talk about it, the more excited about it I get.
Yep.
Because even if somebody doesn't need it.
Yeah.
So they put it in the bank?
Agreed.
Okay, what's the problem with that? That's going to get passed on too.
It will.
Or they do the living legacy like you're talking about. They enjoy what they.
Or they go and buy a brand new Corvette that they can barely get in and out of. But, but they
probably.
look cool. Okay.
That's good.
So is that it? We got that?
Well, those are the 4 big categories, and I would encourage you to be very privy to top competitive products in all 4 of those areas. I would encourage you to be pretty well versed. You should be an expert in 3 or 4 of those top competitive products in all 4 of those areas. And if you're curious on kind of what I've been recommending lately and what I've been talking with agents about, feel free to reach out to me. We can have a conversation about carriers and products. And
how did they reach out to you, Caleb?
Well, you can shoot me an email, calebnorth@retirementrealized.com, or you can give me a call at 512-798-3500, extension number 5.
I'm sorry, what was that number again?
512-798-3500, extension 5. I am a product nerd.
I agree. I agree
over this stuff.
Product and Excel.
You make my day. Give
and
me
apparently some sort of rider that you've been holding out us on. Okay. I hope this helps everyone. You have a great day, and of course, happy selling.